invisibility is assumed to be an integrated part of the worldview. So invisibility, in a way, I'm just using the word partly because I mean it to be a problem for you, and also because, it's actually quite accurate. If you don't live, as I keep pointing out, in a world that's already created, you have to look at all the ingredients because nobody else created them. Sure. So each moment is creation. Even the word body means aggregate, means what's accumulated. So the body is what's accumulated through your being born and living, etc. As the five skandhas, skandhas means aggregate, the five skandhas, form, feeling, perceptions, impulses, consciousness, are aggregates because they're accumulated as domains through your living. Now, this is a very different way to look at the world than that the five skandhas were already there and you just were born in it because you're a human being, you have the five skandhas. No. The skandhas are aggregates which accumulate through your living. Let me just say, like right here, what's invisible? Well, as I want to keep pointing out so that you keep noticing them as an ingredient. What's here is air in this room, and it's invisible, but you can breathe it. What's invisible in this room is space, but we've made use of it. I mean, if we didn't have the ingredient of the space, we couldn't separate the columns. We couldn't have the altar over there and me here. And what's also invisible is it's gravity. But I can show you. I can make gravity more visible. I mean, watch or listen. That happened because of gravity. So gravity is hiding in the platform and hiding in this stick. And if I move it, you hear the effect of gravity. We live in such a world, but we don't notice it. But if you did start living in such a world, which really we can actually quite accurately think of Zazen, this folded in posture, as a birth canal. And the more you practice in this birth canal of Zazen regularly, you're born into a new world where invisibility is felt, if not conceptually grasped. In Buddhism, a body is not a corpse. Now, we have the term Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Nirmanakaya. And the word kaya means body. It's translated into English as body, but it doesn't mean the body which also can be a corpse. It means the body that makes the body sentient, alive, quickening. So I tried to change, I started out just using ordinary circumstances. There's the vertical body, there's the horizontal body, which sleeps and dreams, the vertical body, which thinks and analyzes, and so forth, and processes movable space, and the horizontal body processes inner space, something like that. And so, just making that distinction, I'm basically making the distinction between body and embodying. So what I've suggested is the word body is best understood as embodying. So because everything's an activity, inactable. There aren't entities or nouns, really. All nouns are really gerunds or ingings. So if we substitute body and begin to create it for the word body or the name body and change it into the activity of embodying as a term, it means then you can practice. It's obvious to anyone. You don't have to be a yogi to realize that the vertical body and the horizontal body are different experiences, conducive to different kinds of experiences. It creates a different capacity in the body, one for dreaming and one for more discursive, conscious, consequential thought. So now, if you're an autodidactic Zen practitioner, you would say, oh yes, I don't have to read any sutras to know that, or Buddhist teachings to know that there's a difference between the vertical body and the horizontal body. I can feel the difference. So I'm pointing out, yes, we've got these English words, vertical, horizontal, sleeping, waking, body, and so forth. Now let's take the body and turn it into an activity, because everything's being created. So embodying. And so when you go to sleep at night, and this has nothing, there's no sutras that tells you this. When you go to sleep at night, as you I'm sure do, sometimes you're kind of sleepless. Now can I sleep a little more, go back to sleep after getting up or something? So that's an act of embodying, we could say. So you're trying to embody the sleeping state, which arises in usually horizontality. And when you're standing up, then, what's the difference? There's some kind of energy, your spine's involved, you're relating to gravity different. I mean, you have to kind of like take some gravity out of the occasion in order to sleep. And you have to put some gravity back into the equation in order to get up and walk around and have your cup of coffee. And so we could call your coffee your gravity drink. You know, it's going to give me a little gravity in my spine. So now as a seeker, you're saying, okay, what is the practice of embodying? And if my corpse is stuff that my friends have to deal with, but it's no longer alive, and what makes it alive? I'm alive. Can I experience what makes it alive before I'm dead? So you begin noticing what aliveness is, living is. Yeah. So, what is the teaching here? The teaching here is first, the Dharmakaya. Dharma means the truth, but it also means the technique of noticing experiential units. That's the best I can say. So you notice that Dharma means birth, duration, dissolution, and tabula rasa, erasure, letting go, releasing. Okay. Now that there's in the in other teachings, they don't start with birth, they start with appearance. So then you have to think, why do some lists, which are very similar, start with appearance, and the 4 marks starts with birth? Well, because the birth is a simultaneous birth. There's something, it's not just that there's appearance. Oh, now I notice that. It's that the birth, the noticing becomes a birth which gives birth to you, and it's a simultaneous, the world is simultaneously born. A kind of twinned world, twined together. So there's a simultaneous birth. It lasts for a minute. You're suddenly in a context. The birth includes the context. So you're suddenly in a context. And then actually everything changes. So it dissolves. And then you wipe it clean because you're part of the participation. Or you're part of the participation. And so you wipe it clean. And you're participating then. It's going to dissolve anyway, but you say, release. Okay. Then you're more open to the next birth. Now, if that's a dharma, now this sounds impossible, but actually if you get a feel for it, it is the way things are. It is the way we actually exist. So if you get a feel for it, it creates a little kind of fissure, F-I-S-S-U-R-E, in which how we actually exist begins to kind of leak in. And you don't even know what's happening, but you've created the kind of fissure or the birth canal of Zazen in which this, how we actually exist, begins to seep into how we personally exist. Okay, thank you very much.